Hello everyone, this is Shruti Saxena Das, and in today's video we are going to discuss about SMTP protocol. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is a connection oriented protocol which is used in the application layer to provide the mail services. So this protocol along with POP and IMAP used for email services, used to provide email services. This protocol SMTP is used to transmit email over the network. So it is used to transmit email over the network. We can send single message to one or more recipients, and here to send any email you need email address of the receiver also. So this is a push protocol. We call it a push protocol because this protocol is used to send messages, to transmit email messages. We cannot use this protocol as a pull protocol. That means that we cannot use this protocol to receive messages. We cannot use this SMTP at receiver side. Okay, and this SMTP is that's why called as push protocol, because we use it to push messages, to send messages, not to receive message. For receiving a message you need either post office protocol or IMAP protocol. Now SMTP does not require any authentication also. This is a text-based protocol. That means that this particular protocol is used to send data in form of ASCII code. Now you can see the diagram that we are having SMTP client connected with SMTP server via internet. Now if anyone wants to send, any client wants to send any email, then that email should be sent to SMTP server first. After that, that particular mail will be transferred to the receiver's mail server, and there it will be received, and later on it can be retrieved using either post office or IMAP protocols. Now here what is happening, that we can bifurcate, or we can break SMTP client or SMTP server into two components. So it will be like this, that we'll be having user 1 who wants to connect to user 2. Now here SMTP client, this user 1 is the client. So we are breaking this client into two parts: user agent, UA means user agent, and MTA client. MTA is mail transfer agent. Okay, these are connected via internet to MTA server, and again user agent. So this is the user 2. So basically this is what happening over here. Now see, this user agent, why we have divided the client and server into two parts? Basically there are some tasks which are performed by UA, and some we have divided the task basically. So this user agent, what is the task of user agent? That user agent will prepares a message, then creates an envelope in order to send this message, and then puts this message in envelope. And the task of MTA or mail transfer agent is to transfer email across internet. So using internet, this MTA is going to transfer email. So this is what happening over here. Now, the working of this protocol consists of 5 major steps. See, the first step is composition of mail. So first of all, if you want to send any email, you need to compose it. So for composition of mail, we have 2 parts. Your message contains 2 parts. You'll be having header and body. So header part must be containing some information like sender address, then receiver address, whom you want to send, then you'll be having some subject. So basically all this information is envelope. You are creating an envelope for the message, and this is body is the main part. Okay, main message which you want to send. So this is the main part and this is the envelope. So the task of UA or the task of user agent is to prepare this message. Some main part will be there. Along with that main part, envelope will be created. All this information will be maintained, and then only your message will be sent. So this is the first stage or the first step in which the user compose an email message and send it through mail user agent, MTA. So here mail will be composed and it will be sent via MTA client. It will be sent to MTA client. Now the second step is, so once mail is composed, after that the second step is that MTA client. So once your message is composed and sent to MTA client, this MTA client will submit the email to SMTP server by using TCP port number 25. So 25 is the port number which is used by SMTP. So if you want to connect, or if you want to transfer any message, any mail using SMTP, then this particular port number is assigned for that. So SMTP uses TCP port number 25. For post office protocol, the port number is 110. Now this is the port number which is used by SMTP server, and after the MTA client submits mail to SMTP server, then after that the mail will be delivered. So mail will be delivered. See what is happening over here. User agent has created a mail, composed a mail, put it into envelope, and then submitted it to MTA client. The task of MTA is to transfer email. So basically this MTA mail transfer agent is going to send that particular message to the server. Now that server is having message, and from here message should be delivered to the receiver or recipient of the message. Now for that delivery of the message, what happens, that email contains, your email address contains 2 parts. Email address is like, suppose email address is shruti@gmail.com. So if this is the email address on which you are sending any mail, in that case Shruti is username and your domain name is Gmail. So this is the username and this is the domain. Okay, if the address of the receiver is different, okay, if suppose the domain is different, my domain is Gmail, if suppose I am sending a mail to someone whose domain is Yahoo, Okay, in that case what will happen, or some other. So in that case what will happen, if the address of the receiver is different, then the mail transfer agent finds the target domain. So what MTA will do, your mail transfer agent, what this MTA will do, that MTA is going to find out the target domain. So MTA can check the MX record. MX record basically contain the domain name and the IP address, IP of that domain. Okay, so if domain is not same for the recipient, so in that case what can happen, that your MTA will find out the MX record, checks for the MX record from DNS. So this can be done through domain name system in order to obtain the target domain. So using this record which contains the domain name along with the IP, so once this record is obtained, the MTA can connect to the server to relay this message. So MTA will find out the MX record for the domain if the domain is different, and after finding out, the message can be sent. So once the message is sent, then next step is receipt and processing of mail. Now once the mail is received, or once the message has reached the server mail server of the receiver, in that case the exchange server or the mail server at receiver end will deliver it to incoming server. So what will happen over here, that once the message is received, then the exchange server means MTA server, which is used to transfer the mail. Here MTA server is used. So once the message is received, this exchange server will deliver it to the incoming server or the mail server of the receiver. Incoming server. Now here message will be stored and waits for the user to retrieve it. Fine. So message will be stored over here. Now in the fifth point or the fifth step, access and retrieval of message. Incoming server, here see, incoming server can be your POP3 server. If you are using POP3 for receiving the mails, then what will happen, your exchange server, once it has reached the receiver side, in that case the server will transfer it to the POP server, where it will be stored and it can be downloaded or read once the receiver is active. So once the message is stored in the POP3 server, after that the user agent, this user agent can log in and access the mail. That is what happening over here. So these are the steps which will be followed. That see, process will start from here, that your user agent is going to compose a mail. Once the mail is composed, it will be put into the envelope and transfer it to the MTA client. Once MTA client receives the message, it will send that message to the server. Now after receiving the message from the client, this MTA server will look into the domain. If the domain is same, then there is no problem, but if the domain is different, then it will search for the MX record. The MX record must be containing the domain name along with the IP of that domain. So once it has retrieved that information from MX record, it can send it to the server. In between this, see, MTA server, after this your POP server will be there. So once the information is received over here, this Exchange server will send the message to the POP3 server. I'll write it over here that it will be sent to the POP3 server, where message will reside until the user is active. So if user is offline, then that message will remain saved over here. That's why the protocol is known as post office protocol. Okay, the message will be saved in the server. Once the user is active, user can retrieve that message from this server, can log in and retrieve the message. So that is the process in SMTP. SMTP is a push protocol. It cannot be used over here for receiving the message. It can be only used for transferring the message. For retrieving, you may use POP3 protocol or IMAP. So this is about the procedure, and I hope you must have understood. In case of any confusion, you may ask it in the comment section. Thank you so much.